My greetings to all. Today's grammar tutorial is a continuation of our previous tutorial on the auxiliary helping verbs and main verbs. And we're going to deal today with one of the most important subjects in English, which is the subject verb agreement. This could be one of the most important, crucial, critical areas of understanding English, because this subject verb agreement concept has to do with writing, communication, and grammar in general. So now let's start with the main concept. Now, with regard to the relation, the agreement between the subject and the verb, let me remind you of something. Don't translate into your mother tongue language. Keep thinking in English. With relation, to the subject verb agreement, the subject disagrees with the verb. How's that? Just imagine that there is only one S. Forget about all the S's that you have studied. The S plural, the S third person singular, the S possessive. We're going to think with a different S today. An S, a separate, an independent S. It's either given to the subject or the verb. So simply, if it was not given to the subject, it's going to be given to the what? To the verb. I want to show you how. Samir, Selma, the boy, the girl, he, she, it, and man, man, woman, child. All these are singular nouns. They don't have an S. Boy doesn't have an S. Girl doesn't have an S. Therefore, the verb should end with an S. As easy as that. As easy and straightforward as that. While on the other way, if our subject, as you can see, has an S at the end, moreover, I could add more words like men, men, women, and I think you guessed it's going to be children. All these nouns are considered plural, even though they don't contain an S at the end, because they, by nature, everyone knows that when we talk about they or we refer to plural, maybe with exception to the pronoun you, but it's always also dealt with as plural. So all these are plural present nouns. So their verb should not have an S, as you can see. Play, drive, are, have, and do. Okay, so far so good. Now what about the past? Like I told you, we're going to consider singular and plural. Now with regard to the past, it's so easy, by the way. All pronouns and nouns, regardless whether they are singular or plural, basically have the same verbs except for was and were, because if you remember, we said just right now, a verb which ends with an S, it's singular, the subject is singular, and if it doesn't end with an S, the subject is plural. So this is the only exception. Other than that, as you can see, they are all similar. They are all the same. Now, I have summed up what you have been studying all through years of studying of English. Just in less than 1 minute right now, I'm going to show you how you can differentiate between singular, plural, past, and present. Let me show you. Now, look at this one. All singular subjects, their verbs must end with an S. And all plural subjects, their verbs don't end with an S. As he says that, just like we said before. Singular, the manager, he, she, it, man, and woman, as you can see, their verbs end with an S. While the plural, the managers, they, we, you, men, and women, they don't end with an S, as easy as that. Now, as for you, it's just like plural, actually. Now, maybe I has only one exception only with regard to the verb to be, as you can see. I am, other than that, the rule applies simply like I said before. Okay? So this is singular and plural. Again, all singular subjects, their verbs should end with an S, because there's going to be a missing S. If you remember, we said there is only one S. It should either be given to the subject or the verb. And because we don't have an S here, we must have an S here. And because we have an S here, either directly or indirectly, like these actually, so now in this case, we don't have an S. And the same thing applies with you and I. We said that there is only one exception with the verb to be, in this case was and am. Now as for the past, so easy. Look at this one. All helping verbs that start with a W or D, when they end with a D, are past. They start with a W or they end with a D are past. Look at these. Had, did, was. And the same applies for the rest. Even as for main verbs as well. So these all end with a D, as you can see. So they are all past. And these ones all start with a W. So they should be what? Also past. So what about the other verbs? The other verbs, because they don't start with the W and they don't end with a D, so they are considered as what? Present, right. Now more examples if you wish. Let's look at the following examples, okay? The employee drinks. Without an S, there should be an S over here. So this is what? Singular. The man drinks. He, singular, is. While these employees, plural, drink. These men, plural, drink. They, plural, again, are. Now, also, the other examples I'm going to show you right now. The worker, singular, was. He, singular, has. The workers, plural, were. They, plural, again, have. Okay now? And the last ones. The secretary, singular, does. She, singular, is. The workers, plural, do. And finally, they, plural again, are. Now these are more examples for you to look at, and they are easy, and I believe that you can easily look through each 2 pairs of examples as over here, and you can exactly understand the difference, like the ones I told you, between the past and and present, singular and plural. Thank you for being with me today in this tutorial. There is yet another tutorial on the subject, not actually subject verb agreement, on the auxiliary and helping verbs and main verbs. Thank you very much.